saw you from a year and a half ago at that first major protest that we had here in Melbourne, and yeah, just from there I've sort of been following you a little bit. Not that I'm following too much because don't want to get stuck in Babylon and all that. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was just I saw sort of a kindred spirit there with what you were saying, and yeah, I sort of just wanted to touch on sort of growing up in Melbourne. So I guess we may have had similar experiences, but sort of growing up in Melbourne with the Hellenic traditions, and sort of all that, with the Greek Orthodox and all the traditions and the superstitions and the mythology that we have in our culture and the history, and yeah, just like
Yeah.
how that impacted you, and like leading up to sort of up to that point.
In terms of, what do you mean? Do you mean how my upbringing has impacted me to what I've just gotten into recently, or?
Yeah, like, well, how sort of before the initial protests and before this whole like COVID and everything, yeah, where you were at that point before they, I think you in terms of doing your security training and all that sort of stuff, I think you were, and
Yeah.
yeah, and just like what led up to that, and then we can go from there.
Well, security training basically happened because I was doing security for about 4.5, 5 years. And one of the guys I was working with was a security trainer. And I go, that sounds pretty cool. I said, I'm quite good at speaking or whatever else. I believe I could be a good security trainer. And one thing led to another. I did my training and got my training and assessment certificate 4. And yeah, I just basically, one thing led to another, and I did get a job in training, security training. And yeah, that's where I ended up. In terms of my upbringing and whatever else, part of the reason I have been so vocal in terms of what's going on at the moment, because I am a very strong Christian, and I believe that we are entering the beast system. And it's actually very concerning that I've had so many. I've had I have been a laughing stock of some Greek communities because of what I've been doing. They think I'm absolutely nuts and batshit crazy. And I'm like, don't you read? Don't you read your own Bible? Aren't you looking at what Revelation says? This is it, mate. We are entering the beast system. This is it. No man can buy or sell. How can you be so blind to this stuff? And you say you're a Christian, you say you're Orthodox, and you go to church and this and that, and you can't see this. What? Because the TV says it? So if the only way you'll believe something is if it comes out of the TV, and the only way you won't believe this is the biggest load of horse shit ever is if it actually comes from the TV. Because I tell you now, no journalist is ever going to touch on this and tell you the truth as what's happening at the moment. Not one. You're never going to, you're only going to hear this is if you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. Exactly what it says in scripture. It says, let he who has the eyes to hear, and let he who has the eyes to see, and let he who has the ears to hear. And people unfortunately don't have the eyes to see and the ears to hear at the moment, and it's scary. But that's basically what brings me to where I am now, and my upbringing, in terms of why I do have this mindset is because of warnings that I was given by my family, by my father, especially. In terms of what was to come in the future.
Yeah, for sure, and it's also like through what we learned as Greeks growing up. Well, what I took in was all the same sort of lessons that you're talking about, and it seems like it's happening, and it's like it's been going on, and everyone's just like so happy and compliant, and yeah, it's like people, it's like they're addicted to this materialistic realm and don't want to give up not even one thing. If
No.
they're not willing to give up their sport, even though like the sport's just been, if it wasn't for the major sporting leagues around the world, this wouldn't have happened, in my opinion. There was no way they would have had lockdowns for so long, because it's like, oh, once the sports ball gets cancelled, it's like serious. It's like, better listen, because it's all serious. Got to get my footy back on. And
Yeah,
I've been
bread and
down that.
circus, mate.